Hello guys and welcome to another video. And guys, in today's video I want to be talking about the visual fields and the physiological and the pathological quantums, these quantums and the visual pathway in the binocular vision. Visual field is going to be part of the external environment that can be seen with your eye. It's part of the external field that can be seen with your eye when it's fixed to a point. So let's just say you have a pen in front of you, you're looking at the pen. But what is that visual field around that external world is essentially your visual field. So now there are going to be some physiological ranges, and I really want to highlight that. But if you just look at your eye, the roof of the orbit is your superior one, is your superior. I just want to talk about some limitations, or you can say some borders in our visual field. The visual field, it extends. Where does it extend to? Where is it limited? By the facial bones. Well, superiorly will be the roof of the orbit, lateral will be the nasal side, and inferiorly it'll be your cheek essentially. And what are the limits of the visual field? So the limits of the visual field in terms of like a degree, because to measure this we need to use a thing called the perimetry, which I'll just talk in a bit. Limits of the visual field. So I just want to talk about just the degrees at which you can see the visual field, and this is going to be the extent visual field of each eye visual field that each eye extends. So I want to talk about the superior one. So of course this superior is going to be 100 and it's going to be approximately 80 degrees. Inferiorly you can go a bit superiorly you can be 50. Inferiorly you can be 80, so I'll put 80 over here, and then medially I'll put medially it'll be approximately, you can go quite a bit, so I'll put 100. Medially you can go quite a bit, the 60, and then laterally you can go the most, which is going to be 100. You can see, because laterally you have no borders, so it'll be very easy for you to do it. So horizontally you can go much more, so you can go approximately 160 degrees, and whereas vertically you could go approximately 130. Now I want to talk to you guys about the significance of this visual field, and what's the significance of this type of testing. So I want to tell you first of all that you can kind of figure out, it is going to be a testing method which you can find out if there is going to be any type of like problem in the optic pathway. So any type of a lesion, any type of lesion, you can kind of figure that out. Other things is going to be the retina, if there's any retinal diseases, or you can see any other blind spots on the retina, any types of scrotum blind spots. So I want to talk to you about what's the method behind this. Other types of blind spots can also be known as scrotums. So what is the method? So it's very easy. You just keep your chin on a place, you keep your eyes closed, you keep the subject chin on a chin rest, and then the subject, he basically closes his eyes, and when he closes his eyes, and then from there onwards it's very simple. You can put the marker in a small dot of light, or a small colored object is moved back and forth in all areas of the field of vision, and he will tell you what is the extent of the field of vision is. So the blind spot itself, it occurs 15 degrees laterally to the central point. So the blind spot occurs 15 degrees laterally to the central point. I want to talk to you guys a bit more about the oops, sorry about this. I want to talk to you guys a bit more about the physiological scotums and the pathological scotums. So what's going to be the differences between these two? Well, physiologically speaking, you can have scotums which are going to be very about the blind spot, which is going to be in the retina, that is going to be formed on the optic disc. This can be on the blind spot, can be on the optic disc. Of course, the reasoning behind this is going to be that this is where the nerve passes through. Disc nerve passes here, wherever, and then what are going to be some pathological scotums? Well, I want to talk to you about pathological scotums. The first one I want to talk to you guys about is going to be the bitemporal, the pathological scotums in the visual field. The first one is going to be any type of destruction to the optical nerve, destruction to the optic nerve, and then there's going to be, that's a very basic one, and then there's going to be bitemporal and binasal, like heminopsia, bitemporal and heminopsia, and bitemporal heminopsia. What is bitemporal and this binasal? Well, this is going to be any type of nasal, and the nasal halves of the nerves, nasal half, as a result of destruction of the fibers in the optic chiasma coming from the nasal side of the eye. And then the bitemporal heminopsia, it's going to be coming, the nerve halves coming from the temporal sides of the temporal halves as a result of this destruction of fibers from the temporal halves. I want to talk a bit about the visual pathway. What's going on over here? Very easy actually. Visual pathway is that from the eye, as we know, from the optic disc, we have the optic nerve. This goes on to form the I want to talk about this is going to arise from the arise from the retina, the ganglionic layer of the retina. It goes on to and the nerve fibers will leave through the optic disc, entering the optic canal. It is going to enter once it enters the optic canal, this nerve fiber is going to go on. The optic nerve is going to go on to form the what do you call it? It's going to go on to form the optic nerve. They go on to form the optic chiasma, right? The optic nerve, they're going to go on to form the optic disc, and then they're going to go from the optic chiasma, and from here the fibers, they can go to the optic tract. The fibers, the fibers from the nasal sides, they are going to cross, whereas the fibers from the temporal side, they go the same way, and then what happens is the nerves, they're gonna go to the nerves, they eventually, they have three destinations. then the optic chiasma forms the optic tract, if I'm not mistaken, and the optic tract, and then these can go to the nerve fibers. They can essentially form three types of synapses, and the first type of synapse is going to be the first type of synapse would be in the tactile body. Sorry, the superior colleculi nucleus. The superior colleculi nucleus. The next thing is going to be the lateral geniculate bodies in the thalamus. Lateral geniculate bodies in the thalamus, and the tactile part of the brainstem, right? The pretactile part of the midbrain. Now I want to talk to you about where does it end. Well, it ends as optic radiation in the brain cortex. I want to quickly go over some basic stuff such as binocular visioning, and I want to talk a bit more about the binocular visioning. I want to talk a bit more about the orbiters and the binocular visioning and the horopters. Sorry about that. Oh yeah. So I want to talk a bit more about the binocular visioning and the horopters. So basically, binocular visioning is basically an overlap. You can say so like this. Binocular visioning is going to be some sort of a, I'll make it binocular visioning is going to be some sort of a, the image of an object with two eyes at the same time. Image of the object seen by both eyes at the same time. This is going to be central parts of the visual fields. Central parts of the visual fields are going to be overlapping, and there's going to be the corresponding points. So, for the object, and for the object to be seen binocularly, as one, its image must fall on the specific points on the retina. These are being known as the corresponding points. So they need to fall on the same points on the. They're going to need to be falling on specific points on the retina. So I want to mention, and if they do not fall on these corresponding points, and they're going to be, this is not falling on the corresponding points, it's going to be known as diplopia. Okay, so now guys, I want to talk to you about the keywords for binocular if you ever want to explain it. So remember, it's going to be overlapping of the visual field. This is the keyword, overlapping of the visual field. That'll get you all the marks in the test you need, and you need to also mention that there's going to be corresponding. They're going to be corresponding points on the retina. Please don't forget these words in the test. So let me repeat them again. The corresponding overlapping of the retina, central parts of the central parts of the visual field. So which parts of the visual field? The central parts. So these central parts of the visual field, these are going to be overlapping, and their corresponding points are going to be the retina. And I guess I want to talk a bit more about the horopter. I'm going to talk about the horopter. The horopter is going to be when it's going to be a line or a surface to which the image falls on, and this is going to be corresponding to your retina. So it's going to be a line or surface to which all, this is a keyword, all the points of space of which images fall on corresponding points of the retina of the two eyes. Guys, please don't forget this, two eyes. This is the key guys. And then